R2 the dog. I ain't even been feeling like doing this. But let's get it. Yeah. It's probably the real level up. BIP Red Dog 1.
The O is for the 16 ounces that's in the whole pound. They really out here feeling my music. Shout out the whole town. K is for the killers I know who keep the 4 pound. You give an inch, he taking the mile like it was 4th down. The L is for the ladies for sure. I mean the real ones who out here working hard for the.
What's up, world? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy R2. And hey, man, we back with another banger. You know what I'm saying? So grab your popcorn and your cold drink and go on over there and hit that like button. And then after you do that, hit that subscribe button. And after you do that, hit that bell. So when I drop these bangers, you be one of the first people to put your eyes on it. You feel me? What's good, man? I got a hell of a story for y'all today. It's very informative. Very matter-of-factly, man. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, to the supporters, man, to the people who support me, to the people who pull up and comment on them videos, to people who actually take the time to give constructive criticism, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but the utmost respect for y'all. You feel me? Y'all who I do this for, the people who enjoy to see me on here articulating my point and getting the story across, man. That's what it's about, getting the story out and spreading light to the situation. And today, I kind of got more of a story that hits a lot closer to home than most people think. I won't get into how I know the parties involved. I won't get into that. That's not important, but the story is important. And I think the premise of the story and just the bottom line of the story, and this is for my youngsters, man. Don't ever get it conscrewed. Don't ever get it confused. When I get on here and get on my soapbox and I do my thing, I'm not talking to you grown niggas. I'm talking to the kids. I'm talking to the young men of my my area and that goes for worldwide. It's not just for Oklahoma City. It's not just for my neck of the woods. This is for people all across America, man, all across the world. My message is pretty clear, cut, and dry. You know what I'm saying? Positivity, positivity, positivity. I cannot stress that enough. Positivity. Get your life right. You know what I mean? Self-love, self-care. You feel me? Pro-black. You understand me? Self-preservation. You feel me? Black people, man, we got to learn how to come together for more than foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times when I see my black brothers coming together, it's for foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? It's not for the greater good or the best of a situation or trying to help each other get and be the best people that they can be. It's not about that. It's always about negativity. So today, man, I'm talking to the youngsters, bro. And before I get into this story, I just want to say, this is my motto, man. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. If a person call you, ask you, hey man, can you take a ride with me? No. If they can't give you the full details of what's going on and you don't feel comfortable with it, no. You understand? Hey, get in the car with me, ride around the corner. No. You never know what a person just did. You never know what they did last night. You never know who they into it with. You never know what they got in that vehicle. You just don't get in a vehicle and don't just be gung-ho and happy to hang out with folks and do things with people, man, because you just never know how it might end up. Now, today is a story about 2 gentlemen, man, that I know. One is Broderick Carter and the other is Tyree Threets. These 2 gentlemen on November 22nd of 2022, November 22nd of 2022, they were charged with capital murder in the death of John Tavian Hill in El Dorado, Arkansas. Now, when I first heard about this case, the first thing that came to my mind is, what the hell were they doing in Arkansas? that's a little bit away from home. And the second thing that popped in my mind was capital murder. Wicked. It's just kind of hard to kind of stomach that for two people that I knew or know. Two people who I've actually been around. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand how shocking it is to hear that about, one of your partners or somebody that you know that they done caught a capital murder and it's in another state. That's two things that stuck out to me at first. So I got a clip that I want y'all to check out, and that's what we're going to check out first is the clip. Let's check out the clip.
On to crime news today. Two Oklahoma men have been arrested after a shooting in Union County and in charges of killing an El Dorado man. 32-year-old Jontavian Hill was killed over the weekend. Police were called to Hill's home on Oxford Street and found him lying in the living room with at least 10 gunshot wounds, including one execution style. One of the suspects, this man, 36-year-old Broderick Carter, is Hill's stepbrother. He and 30-year-old Charles Mitchell III were taken into custody by Oklahoma police. They face capital murder, aggravated residential burglary, and other charges. Police say there may have even been more arrests, and this is an ongoing investigation. Carter and Mitchell are awaiting extradition. We will keep you updated on this story on air and on myarclemis.com.
Now, first things first, the Charles Mitchell guy, I think he was arrested by mistake because I think they originally was looking for Tyree. And Tyree is the other suspect or the person who was apprehended after, they figured out that Mitchell wasn't the right one. I think they kind of look similar. I think they kind of favor each other, and then I think white folks think all black people look alike, which ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you fit the description when you're not that person? How can you fit the description of a person who you are not? You understand what I'm saying? So initially they had the wrong man. They got Broderick, but then they got the Mitchell guy, and I don't think he was the right guy. And they turned around and went and got Tyree. So I'm gonna show y'all a picture of both. That's Tyree, and that's Broderick. Okay, so now you got two men, two black men from where I'm from. However, they ended up in Arkansas. We'll talk about that in a minute. However they ended up in Arkansas, they ended up in Arkansas. And for whatever reason, they went to Arkansas. It resulted in both of them being charged with capital murder. Now let me talk about one more thing that stood out to me. Now, for one, the deceased is one of the suspect's stepbrother. That's one thing that stood out to me. Now, me personally, I don't see how something could happen to a person's own stepbrother if, with you being the suspect. You know what I'm saying? Your stepbrother, that's like family. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of confused me right there. So that lets me know it's deeper than rap. It's got to be, right? It's got to be deeper than rap. So this happened in November of 2022. And let me pause for a second. And to the youngsters, the reason why I say don't watch who you associate with, bro. Watch who you associate with. Know your friends. Know your friends, because obviously from what I'm looking at, and we'll get to more in a second, just from what I've showed you and what I've looked at as myself, I just don't, this is my thing. I'm not hanging out with anybody, just anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't think these two even belong together. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I don't think these two even fit the character of each other to complement each other well. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. That's where they went wrong from the start. I don't believe these two belong with each other. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe they just like night and day. You understand what I'm saying? So to the youngsters out there, this is what I'm saying. Don't let nobody entice you to do nothing. You understand me? I mean, I don't care what it is. A person can't call me up and say, hey, R2, let's go do some illegal stuff. Hell no. Or, hey, R2, let's go do this. I'm down with this. You want to get down with this? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? I mastered the art of saying hell no. Because you can't call me and entice me to do no bull crap that's going to, even make me uncomfortable. I'm not even saying that it's going to catch me a case, but if it makes me uncomfortable, no. And at this day in Junction, anything that gets me out of my crib that's not factored into my, to my everyday plan and my routine, that gets me uncomfortable. And I'm just going to have to respectfully decline. Because some kind of way, shape, or form, they ended up in Arkansas. And I know Tyree don't have no ties to Arkansas. So that lets me know that he was being a follower. You understand what I'm saying? Tyree was being a follower. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know if he needed to make some bread or if it was a money play or whatever, but for a person to be shot 10 times and then they said once execution style, bruh, you could have stayed home for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Tyree don't got no ties to Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of wicked that, you end up, kicking it with somebody, hanging with somebody, and you end up in a jam. My point to the youngsters, bro, watch who you call your friends. Watch what cars you get in. Watch what endeavors you choose to be a part of. It could go bad. This is the prime example of it could go bad. Now, this is the kicker. Some kind of time after they were arrested, a letter was wrote by Mr. Broderick Carter. And we're going to read this letter. Let's blow it up a little bit. To whom it may concern, my name is Broderick Carter. I've been locked up in El Dorado. Let's blow it up a little more. I've been locked up in El Dorado County for over 3 months for a crime that I didn't do. Now, and since I've been here, it's been a couple people come and talk to me to tell me about their cases. Just so happened, since I've been here, I know about 2 different murder cases that I'm sure y'all would love to hear about. They told me everything that you would need to know to get your conviction on them. And I would like to speak to someone fast about both of the names that I'm going to tell y'all in this letter. I just need to make sure that y'all will keep me safe and protected before I go into detail. I'm only doing this to help myself because the truth be told, I don't know anybody from down here. All of my family are in Waldo, Arkansas, and in Oklahoma City. But the 2 names that I have for you are Laurel Govin, and the other is James Greer. Plus, I even know the head person from here that's selling those fake pills that's killing people here in town. This is not a joke or a lie. I have no reason to play games with y'all, and if y'all help me, I'll be willing to work undercover for El Dorado police to help bring down crime that your officers can't get near with the way a lot of people, with the way that I look. I promise you that I can get info and drugs from a lot of people. I'm just asking y'all to work with me, and I'll work with you, and I'll work for you and help bring people to justice. Send someone to talk to me ASAP. I even know about a third murder that involves Saquon Elliott that happened last year on the 4th of July. And I just want y'all to see this. This ain't no joke. This was actually sent in. I didn't write this. I didn't make this up. This was actually sent in. This was actually a letter that was wrote from that jail by Mr. Carter and actually sent to the prosecuting attorney's office. So take from that what you will. I don't know if that was a attempted at a Hail Mary, you know, and what I mean by Hail Mary is that a person in a sticky situation like that could be trying to make up some stuff, or it sounded like to me that he was around the jail ear hustling, seeing who would talk about their case and trying to backdoor, you know what I'm saying, and use them as a shield, which is totally out of bounds, which is totally out of line, which is totally ratty, which is totally snitch, which is totally all of that. And, you know, I don't know if that was a desperation move or what, but that's the wrong move in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because once you sent that letter out, you just killed your credibility as far as whatever kind of street life you may come from. And we talking about this situation without bias. We speaking on this situation without bias. And this is an attempt to spread light on a situation where a person who potentially got life ahead of them, as is Tyree, a young brother who possibly got a whole life ahead of him, man. One wrong decision, hanging with the wrong person, as in Mr. Broderick Carter. Obviously, this is the wrong person to be hanging out with, and I say that because you in this situation, and not only are you in this situation, and I'm not, because, you know, this situation could happen to anybody, but being in there maybe 2 or 3 months before this letter came out, that letter don't make you look good at all, champ. And me coming from the streets and me being a advocate for real niggas, me being an advocate for real niggas, that ain't no real nigga shit, dog. Period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? And others may disagree. Others may say, hey man, when you're in that kind of situation, you do whatever you got to do to get out. No, you don't. A person with morals and a stand-up mentality, we ain't going out like that, bro. We ain't going out like that, because even if you did sit and listen to somebody else's conversation that they was having in the jail, you turn around and try to backdoor them, sneakily write a letter to the prosecution saying that you can get that you heard these dudes talk about their case and that you can get them wiped down and that you can get them, you know, get them some, you know, get them in some trouble because you in some trouble. That's some snake ass shit. But, you know, it's not on me to judge. You know what I'm saying? I'm running the story. I'm giving y'all the story. And it's not on us to judge, because we got to let God deal with that. You know, but for a person like Tyree, you know, who may have just been at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know, I feel for you, brother. You know what I mean? You're in a sticky situation with what seems like a slime ball ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? You in a situation with a slime ball ass nigga, because that letter was speaking just for him. It didn't help you out in any kind of way. It didn't say us or Tyree, that, you know, we didn't have anything to do with it, saying he didn't have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's totally separating himself from Tyree. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, Tyree was only there because of influence. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Tyree was there, you know, as a mastermind. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. And so Man, youngsters, bro, I just cannot stress enough because this seems like a situation to where it seems like, hey, let's take a ride. Okay, let's take a ride. And that ride turns into a capital murder charge for both of us. Ain't that a bitch? And I've recently spoken to Tyree. And we are going to put something together as far as him speaking out. He's going to speak out. He's going to, as much as he can without hurting his case, he's going to speak about the situation. We're going to ask him a few questions. So y'all got to stay locked into the YouTube channel for that episode. It's coming. It's on the way. It's in works. I have got the confirmation from him, and I've also confirmed with myself that I actually want to do the story. And we in any kind of way, if it's going to hurt either one of these gentlemen, we won't run it. But if it's when we figure out a way to do it, because this is an open case, when we figure out a way to do it where it won't hurt either of their case, only help, we're going to run it that way. So expect some detail, but not too much detail, because I'm pretty sure with this being an open case, he don't want to look like a, you know what I'm saying, a snitch or anything like that. But hey, once the ice is broken and somebody has already tried to throw you under the bus, telling your truth is okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not downing nobody else or trying to get nobody else in trouble, just telling your truth, because I'm interested in hearing Tyree's truth. Broderick, not so much, because you done already wrote this letter, bro. You done already put the letter out there, and you done already put your hat, and you done threw your hat in the ring already. So it ain't much I can do in regards to that, you know. But my prayers will continue to go for both of these young men. My prayers are up for both of them. I pray that they both can find some kind of way to come from up under this. And I just want the young men, the young boys out there to know, everybody is not your friend, man. Every situation is not your situation. You know what I mean? You don't just jump in the car with anybody. You don't just take a ride with anybody. And that goes on both of these guys' behalves. You don't just hang with anybody and you don't even really know what's going on. You don't walk into a situation blind. Because now you got all of these question marks in the air. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And obviously, from the facts of the situation, with the deceased being Mr. Carter's stepbrother, it would lead us to believe that Carter would have ties to Arkansas and not Tyree, right? You know, so that's where I say, hey, man, everybody's not your friend. Every situation is not your situation. Watch who you call your friends and watch who you hang with. That's a fact. If they can't give you all of the details of why you're going, where you're going, how long you're going to be there, don't go. If you're not going for a purpose, work purposes, or, you know, something sentimental to the family like a funeral or anything like that, it's not worth going. If you're going to so-called bus a play or going to, you know, get into anything illegal, cut it short. It's not worth your life. Look at these two brothers charged with capital murder, not just murder, capital murder. And if I'm not mistaken, capital murder in Arkansas carries the death penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look it up. Let's ask Siri. Hey, Siri, does capital murder carry the death penalty in Arkansas? Yeah. Yes, sir. Capital punishment. And they have, since 1820, they've executed 505 individuals in Arkansas. So it's definitely on the table. It's up to the prosecutor, you know. So we're gonna send prayers out to both of these gentlemen. We do have an exclusive interview from Tyree coming to where he could kind of, spread some light on his version, because the picture is being painted crazy, and anybody who knows Tyree, bro. Anybody who know Tyree, we know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So just hold your head, brother. We know you ain't, you know what I mean? We know you ain't like that. You feel me? So just hold your head, brother, and the truth gonna come to light. And we're going to try to advocate for you, man. We're going to try to get some Innocence Project, somebody to kind of advocate for the situation and try to, get to the bottom of the truth, man. Because not always when you in these situations can you just come out and speak the truth, because people going to say you snitch. But then when you turn around and send a letter out saying that you can get people to bring people down and all of that, how do you strike back against that? You know what I'm saying? If you can sit in there and rot, or you can speak your truth. So whatever Tyree decides to do, man, we gonna rock with him. You know what I'm saying? We rocking with Carter too. You know what I mean? Because both of these dudes, man, I know, and I just hate that it had to come to what it had to come to, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna pray for you too, man, and just hope that y'all can, some kind of way come from up under the situation that y'all in. I'm not sure how y'all got there, but hey, man, like I say, I want the kids, I want the young brothers out there, the young men out there to start thinking before you make rash decisions. Think, please. And before you let somebody entice you to be somewhere that you know you're not supposed to be, or to be involved with something that you know damn well in the bottom of your heart, in the pit of your stomach, that you're not supposed to be involved in, please just say no. You feel me? Have enough courage to say no. Have enough courage to be who you are and not have any kind of apologies about it to anybody, because who you are is who you are, and can't nobody make you no other kind of way. You understand what I'm saying? Learn to be yourself. Learn to be comfortable in your own skin, and not trying to be like the next, or not trying to keep up with an image or portray a facade. Man, it's your boy R2. I love y'all, man. I appreciate the support. We got the next interview coming with Tyree with the exclusive. We're going to drop that as soon as we get it. And, yeah, man, like I said, man, y'all stay down. Y'all stay positive, and we're going to keep it cracking, man. Until next time, peace, love, one. It's your boy R2. We out.